I don't want people to fix things any way other than just to hold me and love me. That's it. That's all I've wanted. And you know, I feel like they have. I feel like God has answered a prayer that I had for so long. For somebody to hold my hand. BTS was the answer to that prayer. That was the hug and the hand holding I needed. Thank you. Thank you, BTS, as always. Hey there, welcome back. My name is Ashley Sue if you're new here, and here we do videos on midlife, mental health, and BTS, how these things come together. However, I've realized from comments and from my analytics, like half of you are not midlife at all. You are young. So apparently the mental health issues that we pull together with BTS are pretty universal, and the struggle is real, right? I hate to use adages. We use a lot of adages around here, right? A lot of little one-liners that somehow tell the story for us. I'm constantly in a state of anxiety, fluctuating anxiety. This is something we talk a lot about here, and I'm always so thankful when you guys share in the comments your own struggles and your ability to relate. And at the same time, I hate that. I hate that you know these feelings also. I don't even know what I'm going to do a video on right now. This will probably be a music video, though I don't know which one. One of my struggles as of lately has been feeling very invalidated. My strongest points of this year have been me realizing I don't need anyone's validation, right? I don't. You don't. That's one of the beautiful messages we get from our men. BTS and their entire concept of love yourself is a really transformative, powerful message. And in it, we really get to think about and focus on how we're not only worthy of love, our perfection is not where our ability to be loved lies. And we can genuinely say that because we, as OT7 fans, love all 7 of these beautiful, precious men and whatever souls are behind them, whether it's Bang PD, P-Dog, staff whose names we do not know, who they find support with, whether they have relationships, romantic relationships behind the scenes that we don't know about, that they feel nourished by. We are thankful for and love those people. These 7 people in particular, because these 7 gorgeous souls have graced us with so much archive footage of them growing up, and now the men that they are, we see that they are flawed. And that's where we really love them. They shine where all those cracks are. Does that, make sense? Which is so funny to think about that, because it goes all the way back to Blood, Sweat, and Tears with the cracking facade, and then it goes to On, where the cracks up V, which weren't actually cracks, it was a tree branch, right? But it still had that appearance, that semblance of cracking. Things that appear dead but are alive. There's the crack in the screen in the video for Shadow. I mean, there's so much that we can weave together through their storylines and through what they share. But when we're looking at our own cracks and our own flaws, it can be difficult to love ourselves. And I've been getting mild flack from some of the Christians in my life whom I love, who love me, but they look at Christianity and they look at their relationship with God differently than I look at my relationship with God. And unfortunately, they often feel like the way they look at their relationship with God is how I need to be looking at my relationship with God, or I'm doing it wrong and I'm sinning and lost. And I'll be honest, as a Christian, I don't want to be the Christian who walks around pretending like everything's always great when I feel downhearted. I don't want to be the Christian that tells people everything happens for a reason when they feel their lowest. And I don't really want to hear that from anyone else, because as well as intentioned as it is, it's isolating and it's cold. And honestly, honest to God, it's heartless. You can be a Christian and still feel immense struggle in your life. You can be a Christian and still have moments where you feel empty and broken and not worthy of being loved. So the adages that I'm going to rely on in my life aren't things like everything happens for a reason and well, you just need to dig in and love God a little more and suddenly everything's gonna be better for you. I'm not gonna be that person for you or for anybody else. What I will tell you is you never walk alone. To love yourself, you're doing good, keep going. To know that otherwise, to believe otherwise is that you're caught in a lie. You know, I mentioned, oh, I hate that I come here and I get emotional. Everything just feels so crazy. I am 3 weeks from today from flying to LA and suddenly I feel like it's a horrible idea and I'm supposed to go see the very people that have inspired me to stay alive for the last year. Why is November so hard? A miracle has happened and the purple balloons have risen, are rising, and this concert is happening and so many of you have made changes in your life in the last year because of COVID, because of BTS, because of being inspired. And so many of you seem so gung-ho, like Gail, you really seem like you are rocking it out. You seem like you are grabbing the changes in your life by the horns and making the impossible happen and getting your life back. And I feel like I'm constantly, you know, a step forward and a step or two backward and I'm going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I've been having so much anxiety trying to get this trip planned and my kids have gotten sick twice in the last 2 weeks and I've never been apart from them. I've never had the opportunity to be apart from them. We've now been parents for 3 years this month. Since becoming parents, we have been both apart from our children at the same time 4 times. 3 of those times were for just a couple hours, having to take my kids somewhere else for a week while I go to do something absolutely crazy and selfish, right? Me pursuing this is crazy and selfish, right? And then my kids got sick twice in the last 2 weeks and I'm like, oh my God, what if they're somewhere else and they get sick and I've dumped my responsibility on other people? I just have an inner battle of whether or not I'm worthy of this trip, this time, this luxury, this experience to go see them. I don't feel like it's possible. And at the same time, I feel like I can't survive without BTS. So my head is all over the place. Anyhow, the dumpster fire in my head. Yes. I need some Jesus in my life and I need some prayer. I'm not doubting that. What I also need is somebody who understands this feeling, and this awesome guy is one of them. He wrote this book, Your Head is a Houseboat, and I'm so excited. Do you believe in just cracking a book open and whatever you read is maybe what you need to be reading or how you know whether or not to buy the book? My dear friend and I both talk about using BTS Spotify playlist random as a sort of oracle for our moment, our day, what we need to be meditating on, preparing for the day also. Yeah, I do the same thing with books. I crack them open. This is how I know whether or not to buy a book. Granted, this one I just bought because I trust this guy. I like him, but let's see. You might consciously or not think of life like this: birth, you, death. But we do know that the whole time life is occurring, you're stuck in the same you in the same head. So it makes sense to make this head as nice a place to stay as possible. If you were staying in an enormous houseboat for one night, you'd be forgiven if you didn't poke around in the cupboards or make the bed. But if you stayed in that houseboat for 1 year, it would be an objectively strange move if you didn't explore. Now imagine you're spending 85 years in this funny houseboat and you die with entire rooms unopened and stuff everywhere. Oh my God, I'm in love with this book already. Imagine if 85 years in, you still had never investigated the mystery of the scary rattling sound coming from under the deck. You'd end up living your whole life in fear, picturing a giant rabid possum or a regular-sized non-rabid murderer with every metallic jangle. You never discovered that the clanking was just a pile of coins sitting on top of the water heater, singing their coin song every time you took a shower. Imagine if 85 years in, you hadn't ever taken care of the kitchen. Instead of scrubbing the food encrusted dishes, you just accepted their eternal filthy presence on the bench top, taking up valuable chili chopping space. We go our whole lives ignoring the rattling sounds from the basements of our brain and adapting to our mental messes instead of cleaning them up. Or the messes pile up and we reach for the closest and loudest distraction. A frosty, sour ale, the endless void of Reddit, $2 tacos, reruns of Sex and the City. But what if we didn't? What if we held off on Carrie Bradshaw's journey of self-discovery for one more night, stayed with the fear, opened the unopened doors, and discovered finally that the terrifying pantry scratching sounds are just mice? What if we unpacked and put away our baggage instead of leaving it sprawled throughout the hallways? Yeah, a new thing that I'll be going through and talking about, as well as before this year's over, I'm going to talk about 0 O'Clock, the book I mentioned to you a number of videos ago. I'm also reading The Alchemist as recommended by Namjoon. You know, I'm reading these books about self-discovery and acceptance. Self-love. Fuck acceptance. I'm tired of tolerating things. I'm tired of it. And yet I find myself in this place of like doubt and honestly kind of self-loathing all over again. This weekend went terrible. Between feeling really invalidated by a family member who'll be keeping my kids, and then my sister who is mourning, who is grieving, and you can't escape yourself. Wherever you go, there you are, right? You know what I realized this weekend is I'm still super struggling with like simple things about being a mom, and I'm super struggling with simple things about my marriage, and I'm super struggling with the fact that I don't know how to change any of these things. I don't know how to change these things. Take a breath. Things are about to get weird. That's one of my favorite lines I've ever read in a book. I think we're gonna start using that line here. Thanks. You know, I really want us, me, you, all of us, to stop taking things for how they appear to be and to fight for something better. I've referred before to the fact that I feel like people often hit a point in their life where they just start to give up. More and more and more, and then we're just surviving until we die. And I would rather die. I'm gonna be hella honest. I would rather die at this point, and I'm not saying that lightly. I am not saying that lightly. I would rather die than to survive until I die. I don't think this life is good enough to just survive through. Maybe for some people, like all the good just kind of happens and they're like, man, I am floating through this thing and it is one awesome ride. But for me, that's not been my experience of life at all. It's been, okay, I'm floating through this thing and I'm waiting, right? Because like something good's gonna happen. And people told me to wait. People said, wait, the good thing will come. You know, wait until you have the job you really want, you're gonna be happy. Wait until you have the house you really want, you're gonna be happy. Wait until you have kids, it's gonna be so rewarding. Wait until you're married to a great person, and then you're gonna feel never lonely again. Wait until, well, now that you've got the house, and we'll just wait until you keep working hard. You don't like it, wait until they tell you can get that promotion. Wait until you can retire, and then you can enjoy your life. Oh shit, your health is gone. Well, like, who are we waiting for? What permission were we waiting for to live our lives? Who was holding the keys for us to choose yes before? And when I think like that, I feel like I have to do the trip to California. And see, this is what I'm talking about, the like back and forth. Can I do this? Is this even possible? And by me questioning that, am I just going back to the old familiar path of, well, everyone's telling me to keep waiting. Everyone's telling me this is the wrong time. I hate this. I cannot stand this. Like, I'm 3 weeks out from a BTS concert that I have a plane ticket and a hotel to go to. Shouldn't I be super excited? Shouldn't I be in a place of just like ecstatic planning? And instead I feel overwhelmed. And like it's not possible. And like by it not being possible, it just reaffirms that either I am incapable of this life, that all along, all the years that I thought I was too weak and too pitiful for this life that other people seem to really enjoy and do so well at, or that I'm just too weak and pitiful to figure out how to make it good. This is not the way I want to feel. This is surviving until you die. I have whined enough. So I've got music videos that I've seen, ones I haven't. By the way, are these actually all music videos? Like, are there music videos for dance versions and one take versions and facial expression versions? Is there a Japanese version of Boy in Love? How have none of these things ever popped up in my algorithm? I've still never seen For You. Is there really a video for Come Back Home? Because I didn't think there was. Heartbeat. Is there really a video for Heartbeat? Do you know how much of a soft spot I have for Heartbeat? BTS World CD is actually my very first BTS CD, and I listened to it so much this time last year, actually. Between me discovering Dynamite and falling head over heels for Dynamite, head over heels for On and Black Swan, I felt like I had to buy a CD and I couldn't justify the money, so I spent $9 on a used copy of BTS World on Amazon, and I listened to it every day. This is before I created the Spotify playlist. Are they in the video for Make It Right? That's a cartoon video. Oh, that's a cartoon video, but it's Hype Labels. That's Big Hit. Wait, and there's an official music video, vertical version? What? All right, we're gonna watch Make It Right. But first I have to tell you about my dream with Make It Right. Or at least part of my dream. So I had a dream a couple months ago. I was on like a college campus, it felt like, somewhere near the dorms or something. People kind of had blankets out and were enjoying the weather. People were coming going kind of everywhere. A few of the guys of BTS were there also. Tae was eating black cherries. He kissed me, and it was a long, sweet, slow kiss. It just felt really special. He made me feel really special. In that moment, I knew he loved me and he wanted me to understand that I am loved. By the way, as a 41-year-old woman, this is all really weird to say out loud publicly now. But so in the dream, he kissed me, and I remember while he was kissing me, I felt very nervous and awkward about people around us who might be watching. And them feeling like that it was not okay because I'm 41 and he is nowhere near 41. When he pulled back, he gave me a smile, this just super reassuring smile. We were not speaking the same language in the dream. He looked at me in a way to say, they don't matter, us. Just keep looking in my eyes. Well, while he had this beautiful smile, I realized that the juice from the black cherries he'd been eating had dripped from his mouth and fallen all over my white shirt. And I sort of woke up then. When I woke up, I laughed thinking about the cherry juice because I thought it's like I had been branded with the Scarlet A with my white shirt and Tae's cherry juice on my shirt as proof that I had wronged my husband and kissed Taeyang. And through the dream, the song Make It Right was playing, but I have not seen this video ever before. Well, then I opened up with my friend about the dream. She actually told me that it reminded her of Make It Right, which is crazy to me because I hadn't actually told her that part of the dream. I told her about Tae kissing me and the black cherries and it dripping on my shirt and the Scarlet A. I had not told her that Make It Right was playing in the dream in my head while it was happening. Then she actually made something I thought was so interesting. She said the Scarlet A is for Army. We've talked a lot about here on this channel, especially if you're an older fan, there is some sort of weird stigma people have about BTS and about being a fan of them. I honest to God can't understand what the deal is that people have such an issue. Have you seen the Randall Park interview where he was on Ellen, but there were fill-ins for Ellen, like Whitney Cummings and some other girl were the hosts when he was on, and they were asking him about being a fan of BTS, saying something about how they knew he had BTS dolls, and he was like, I'm not ashamed. Yeah, I've got the dolls. I've been to the concert. I'm not ashamed. And Whitney Cummings made kind of I know she's a comedian, so she, whatever, like who knows what she means or doesn't mean, but she was like, oh yeah, people who aren't ashamed all the time say, I'm not ashamed. That was infuriating to me because I knew why he was saying that. Because being an older ARMY, you get shamed by your family members, by your older children, by coworkers. People have beef with you. If you said you were huge into seeing Nickelback and you couldn't wait to go see Nickelback and you were traveling across the country to go see them, people would be like, okay, awesome, great. And it's sort of what RM said in his interview, where he got asked recently about chart manipulation and ARMY being manipulators. And he said I was so thankful. He just answered and said, that's bullcrap. And it just seems really easy that they're easy targets to get asked that because they're a Korean boy band, as to where all the American artists who get ridiculous numbers, none of them are getting asked if their success is actually legitimate. They're not being asked if their fans are manipulating the charts somehow to make it seem like they're legitimate. So yeah, the Scarlet A for ARMY. That really resonated with me. And then she sent me a link to a commercial that I didn't know existed that happens to have Tay eating a black cherry, and I about lost my ever-living mind. Man, I gotta be honest though, it just made me want to kiss him, like for real, because suddenly like everything is right there in play. Anyway, sorry, you do not need to know my whole dream spiel or my anxiety spiel, so hopefully this is a video you just skipped. Except for like if there's two of you that really needed to know that you don't walk alone with your anxiety and doubting your worth, this might have been the video for you. Alright, so I guess on that note, what we're going to be watching is Make It Right. So I think I'm going to first do the official music video, vertical version. I'm super confused though. If there's a vertical version, is there a non-vertical version? Okay. His walk is incredible. Oh my god, it's incredible. With me feeling unworthy of going to a show, I feel like I should not be watching a performance. You know, I've never read the translation of this.
그날의 그때처럼 말없이 그냥 날 안아줘 지옥에서 내가 살아남은 건 날 위했던 게 아닌 되려 너를 위한 거란 걸 한다면 주저 말고 please save my life 너 없이 헤쳐왔던 사막 위는 목말라 그러니 어서 빨리 날 잡아줘 내 없는 바다는 결국 사막과 같은 거란 걸 알아.
I've never read the translation. Translation is how the song feels though. Oh, I just want to watch that over and over today. Wow, I did not anticipate that. I hate that my channel has become like the place to come cry. This is not what I want everything to be here. I really don't. So I've referenced that day last November, at the end of last November, almost a year ago, where I became ARMY. That song, that's one of the songs that happened a lot on that playlist. And one of the things that I found really interesting was, at the time, of course, I wasn't looking up translations. I didn't know what their songs meant. I only could gather the way they made me feel, and then whatever English lines would be in there. And of course, in this one, you have the whole
Baby, I can make it better. I could hold you tighter.
I can make it better, I could hold you tighter. And you know, to be really honest, that's what my life is lacking and what I've asked for years. I don't want people to fix things any way other than just to hold me. To hold me and love me. That's it. That's all I've wanted. And I've asked for that. But then to read this. And while this may not actually be a love letter to ARMY, it sure feels like it, you know? God have mercy, this is so beautiful. And you know, I feel like they have. I feel like God has answered a prayer that I had for so long. For somebody to hold my hand and to hold me. And that's it. That be it. And BTS was the answer to that prayer. I'm really, really thankful. I'm like hella thankful for. Well, this turns out to be the video I didn't know I needed today. That was the hug and the hand holding I needed. Thank you. Thank you, BTS, as always. How do they do this? How do they do this? How do they reach us with their message without speaking a language we know? Oh my God, that walk. This is the same intro. I'm so thankful for these men. So I'm confused. Oh, this is the Law version or whatever his name is. Oh, their voices are so good.
Can make it right.
I just keep thinking, am I worthy? Am I worthy of this? God, I love you, Hobie.
커진 기에 좀 더 단단해질 목소리에 모든 건 내게 돌아가기 위해 이제 너라는 지도 아직 펼칠게 My rehab 나봐 왜 못 알아봐 남들의 하우스 땀이나 듣고 싶지 않아 너의 향긴 여전히 나를 꽉 뚫어 무너뜨려 되돌아가자 그대로
I can make it better I can hold you tighter 그 모든 길은 널 향한 거야 더 소용없어서 너 아니다는 걸 그때처럼 날 어루만져줘 끝도 보이지 않던 영원의 밤 내게 아침을 선물한 건 너야 이제 그저 내가 잡아도 I can make it right Alright Alright Oh I can make it right Alright Alright Oh I can make it right
손에 아름다운 너 나는 그들처럼 말없이 그냥 날 안아줘 지옥에서 내가 살아남은 건 날 위했던 게 아닌 되려 너를 위한 거란 걸 한다면 주저말 그 place in my life 너 없이 헤쳐왔던 사막 위는 목말라 그러니 어서 빨리 날 잡아줘 너 없는 바다는 결국 사막과 같은 거란 걸 알아
Alright I can make it better I can hold you tighter Oh I can make it right
They're my ocean.
소용없어서 너 아니다는 걸 Oh I can make it right Alright Alright Oh I can make it right
Ugh. So yeah, more of the usual chaos, and I feel bad for those of you who've been around for the last 6 months or however long you've been here. I feel bad for you for tuning in day after day and seeing me struggle because I feel like when I come to somebody, I should have it fixed. It should be the presented product, right? It's like, okay, here's what I look like when everything's good, right? And here's how you can get here too. And that's what I've wanted my life to be, and that's what people tell you should do. Don't go on as a mess. Don't go on until you can say, I've worked through it. But my fear is that that's not what life is gonna be, and that maybe there are people who really do just, like I said, float through life and feeling good about it and like, man, good things just spring forth wherever I am. But for some of us, there's like this deep battle. I don't know if it's something we encounter young and have a hard time kicking of like not living our life and waiting for someone else to tell us that like, okay, now you're allowed to live it or what, but things just compound and not happen. And here I am now, 41, like with a bunch of decisions I can't undo, trying to figure out if I can do something. 5 years ago, choosing to go see BTS, if I had known who they were and they had meant this to me, would have been so easy to do, except for I was stuck in a place then, because I had been my whole life, of feeling like I couldn't. Because it wasn't the wise, pragmatic use of money. And that's not the way that I felt, but it's the life that I had locked myself into. People around me who get to dictate for me what's pragmatic and what's good. And I guess that's where I'm so frustrated right now, is I don't want to live my life anymore waiting for because no one's going to tell me that I get to. That's what I figured out. At 41, I've been waiting for someone to tell me that I get to finally do certain things, and I've finally concluded they're not going to, because it's not what's comfortable or pragmatic for them, right? So why am I still acting like a child, asking for permission and waiting for a chance to go do things in my life? But now it's harder because I've locked myself into other things in my life that I'm not sure how to navigate on a daily basis right here within my own walls, much less when I get in a plane and go across the country. I don't know. Can you tell? Can you tell that I don't know. I don't know how to be there for me, and I feel like I'm fucking up trying to be there for anyone else right now too. I feel like there are people who I don't know how to give comfort for the things that they're going through. I feel like I don't. And I feel like my presence is a downer. So, and this is where I go into hibernation mode. I'm really thankful to have watched Make It Right today and to have finally actually read the translation of that. I have a feeling I'll be printing out translation of that from Dual Set and trying to focus on that for the next couple of days. I've spent so much time being told that I'm not capable and believing that. But now at 41, it's hard for me to believe anything else. If you are watching and you are young, if there's anyone in your life telling you to wait to do the things that matter to you, choose yourself. Choose yourself. Don't let somebody else tell you that you have to wait to do the things that matter to you, because that's you being told that you have to wait to be yourself. Choose yourself as young as you can. Choose yourself. For those of you who are my age and older, how do you do it? Gail, how do you do it? How do you boldly march forward feeling great in very hard changes? I don't know how to do this. I really don't want this channel to be all sad and dreary all the time. November is hard and I'm scared. Concert's 3 weeks away and I'm not excited. I'm terrified. And I can't even quite put into words and articulate why I'm terrified. I'm glad for all of you who are really excited, because I know a lot of you are. I'm afraid that everybody who tells me that I'm not capable is right. I really need to print off the lyrics to make it right and focus on this. Alright, so I'm gonna get off here and yay, cheers to our daily cry, and we're gonna move on now. Meditating and message and intention and magic. I'm really thankful that I have that with you. I'm gonna try to stop panicking here. I'm gonna try to, I'm sorry that you're like midst watching me have a borderline panic attack because I can't think clearly at all. I love you. Right now I love you a lot more than I love myself. I want you to love yourself, and I want to love myself, and I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah, I hope you're trying to figure that out, because I know you have a hard time loving yourself too. Listen to Make It Right. Read those words. Look at their faces. Know how much they want that for you. And if you're at all struggling also, whether it's over the luxury of a concert that you don't feel like you deserve to get to go to and now are afraid you can't even actually make happen, or if it's just feeling like you can't even get out of bed today and you're just watching YouTube videos, keep breathing. Moment by moment, keep breathing. Keep breathing. Look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself today. I looked in the mirror and I thought my boobs look fantastic. Saggy or not, my boobs look fantastic. And then I saw my back roll and I thought, oh shit, that does not look fantastic. And I thought, bullshit. Listen to Jen. And I was like, I love that back roll. I'd love it better if my back were healthier, if my body were healthier. But I love that back roll and the story that it tells of survival and working toward thriving. And I hope that you also are finding ways to look at yourself and say, I love you. Please do that. It's what God, it's what BTS, and it's what I want for you. Okay, I'm gonna do a little rise of Bangtan and try to breathe and come back to you in a couple more days, hopefully feeling a little clearer and a little more up for you. I love you.